Hey guys, welcome back to another Smash Ultimate video, and today's going to be a bit different. So I'm sure by now many of you are aware of this, but Smash Ultimate has its first official tier list, which was compiled by AltRank, the ranking platform responsible for succeeding PGR after Panda went to complete garbage, and they finally made an official tier list. So in terms of I guess historically speaking, there has not been an official SSBU tier list purely because of the lack of conclusive empirical data. But then they thought after, 3 or 4 years have passed, they decided to consult all the, I think it was 70 of the top 150 players or something like that, and ask them for their opinions on what they think are is a definitive tier list placement for certain characters. So what they did was they kind of compiled everyone's results together and then averaged it out okay, according to popular opinion, this character is rank 1, this character is rank 11, and things like that. For the most part, when I saw the tier list, I was like, okay, it's a pretty reasonable assumption, but I didn't know that it was actually ordered. I thought to myself the categories were just okay, this is a general category, anyone who's in this tier is roughly around the same level, but no, they actually ordered it, which changes everything because I severely disagree with the placements on some of these characters, and I thought it would be a fun video to do a kind of comparison tier list where I make my own and then pit it against the official tier list. I did make a tier list video at the start of this channel last year, but it was not ordered. This time I will order it, and I would say that throughout the past couple of months, as I made Why No One Plays videos, as I looked up a lot of characters, and as I competed, because I am a competitor, I've learned a lot more about the roster, and I think I can confidently say that my judgment has improved since that tier list. So we're gonna start, and if you still haven't seen the official tier list, I will have it on either on screen for a brief moment, or I'll have it in the description. So if you want to put it up on your second monitor or just alt tab or on your phone and then watch this video as you do it, then feel free to do so. Like the tier list suggests, we're going to start at the top. Now, they divided it into S+, S, S-, but I kind of don't want to do that, that's oversaturated, but I will still factor in the order. I think we can all agree, beyond the shadow of a doubt, because especially with the recent tech that came out that basically allows Steve to ignore all forms of hit stun, he's definitively number 1. And I think with that mechanic, it is so degenerate that tournament organizers, including majors, have gone so far as to potentially ban Steve altogether, purely because there's no way for them to efficiently and accurately police whether or not a person is using that tech. But even without that, Steve has been widely considered to be the best character in the game. Up next is going to be Pyra and Mythra, which I do agree with. I think Aegis is... I find them to be a little bit overrated. At the same time, when we judge their mechanics, when we judge their frame data and their potential, both on paper and in practice, the results are there. So they are definitely number 2. And number 3 will be Joker. I think we can all agree that S+ is perfectly fine. Now in S, they did put Sonic at number 4. I am debating between putting Sonic in number 3 or 4, but I think you can interchange the two. Both are ridiculous in their own right. However, they put Fox as number 5, which is quite interesting because I think that's a classic case of one player syndrome where it's just pretty much just light. I know we have a few other players like ZD and Pasadiman, but I seriously doubt that Fox, a character very prone to just exploding off a single hit, should be rank 5. He is a top tier. I do consider him a top tier. I just don't think that he's number 5. So who would be number 5? I would probably say Rob. Rob is pretty high up there. Now if Sal's watching this, he's going to disagree, but I still think that Rob is quite good. And then after that, I'm going to put... I'll go with Roy. I think Roy would be... Roy would be number 5, or number 6 rather. And then number 7 is going to be... See, it is tough. It's a lot of these characters are not that much worse or better than each other, but I think I'll put Pikachu in at number 7. And at number 8, I'm going to put in Peach and Daisy. Where are they? Or I'll just put Peach. And then I'll put Fox. I think Fox is at the lower end of top 10. I don't think he's at, right in the middle. That's a little bit over-inflammatory. And remember, the list is compiled mostly from the opinions and thoughts of top players. And almost every top player has come across Light at one point or another. Again, not saying that Fox isn't good. It's just that I think 5th, that's pushing it a little too much. And I think it's purely because of the fact that Light is such a cracked player. Could we say that's emblematic of Fox's potential at a top level? Yes, but I still think that there's too many things that can go wrong for him, kind of in the sense that they put Kazuya as number 7, but I don't think that's really a good accurate representation of him. Yes, he destroys you off a single hit, but he has a very understandable and a very predictable threat bubble that for some characters they can dance around it a lot more comfortably than others, like, you know, Cloud or Sephiroth. But I just feel like there's too much of a knee-jerk reaction to him being super broken at like top and high level play. Again, he is broken and is quite literally unbalanced and is unfair, but I still think that when it comes to just evaluating him compared to the capabilities of all those above him, yeah, I don't think that's a very good placement for him. But I will put him at number 10. Then that's supposed to be, I guess, the top 10. So I had pretty much the same top 10 as the alt tier list, with the only exception of putting Pikachu a little bit higher up. They put Pikachu as number 13, which is... okay, there's a problem with Pikachu. So I did make a Why No One Plays Pikachu, and I talked about how people have perennially viewed him as a number 1 character or like top 3 character, but there are no results to show for it since the only top representative is probably ESEM, and ESEM rarely competes anymore. That being said, I still think that with what Pikachu is capable of doing, he has to be in top 10. There's no reason he should be below top 10. Unless, of course, the tier list is purely meant to compile results along with a character's theoretical power, then in that case, that'd be a different discussion. But I still think that Pikachu is going to be top 10. Continuing down the list, let's put Wolf. He's still a top tier character. I just think that as the meta developed, he doesn't have nearly the same amount of BS-ery as the other characters. And you do have to play him quite well. He's a hard to execute character. He's a very balanced top tier, I would say, kind of next to Cloud, where he's a very fair top tier. There's a little bit, not saying that Wolf isn't capable of doing some stupid stuff, but Wolf isn't really that character that makes a person throw their controller away out of rage. And then we're going to put Palutena next, over here. I could say that Palutena and Wolf are like interchangeable with each other, but just to prevent me from being stuck on a specific decision, we're going to put that right there. And then next after that will be Pac-Man. He's not a broken character, but what he can do, other characters, most characters just have no answer for. So he's only really a top tier for lack of a better understanding of the range of options he has access to, have very little counterplay, especially if he uses the bell, and of course the fact that he has basically infinite recovery. But aside from that, like, he's a zoner / trapper with boxing tools, and you really should not have that combination in Smash. Then next up we're gonna put in, I think I'll put Diddy Kong over here. Diddy Kong is at like the low end of top tier, and I think I'm also gonna put Cloud here as well. Then, oh no, that's not true actually. I'll put Min Min in between. I think Min Min is a tad bit better. Maybe not as good as these guys, but she's definitely high up there. And I think the reason why they put Min Min as rank 16 in the Ultimate tier list was because there aren't that many representatives of her besides Proto, and Proto doesn't really show up in the West outside of high profile events like Summit. Yeah, pretty much Summit, and then maybe the occasional Super Major. This might just be me parroting off Nairo and what he's saying, but no, I truly believe as the Cloud main that them putting him at 10 is a bit disingenuous considering the people below him, Wolf, Diddy, Pikachu, Pac-Man, Snake, Min Min, Palu, like, you can't say that Cloud just because of back air. I know it's not just back air, but you can't say that Cloud is top 10. That's just, again, it's the light syndrome. It's like the light thing where one player, it's literally just one player that's at the very top who's smoking everybody. Could that be indicative of Cloud's potential? Absolutely. But by that logic, Byleth should be the best character in the game because Leo took so many titles with just Byleth, and many people consider Byleth to be like a low high tier or even high mid tier. Double standards, maybe? But yes, again, I would say Cloud is a top tier character. I just don't think he's top 10. That's really pushing it. Then we're gonna put Snake. I think that Cloud and Snake are roughly about even in strength. Oh, actually before that, we'll put Shulk over here. So Shulk would have been higher up, but they nerfed his Shield Art, which I think had a pretty significant impact on his defensive play, and Shulk really depends on Shield Art to escape pressure and to withstand pressure. Otherwise, he would be like up here. But I'll put Cloud and Shulk roughly in the same spot. Snake is also there, but I think for Snake, the reason why people have so much trouble with him is just because he forces you to play an entirely different playstyle. The benefit of the other top tier characters, and the reason why so many people actually enjoy fighting the top tiers like Rob or Roy or like Wolf, is because they have a straightforward game plan. You just have to outplay them. In Snake's case, you can't really do that. You have to play his game in a way. Then we're gonna probably put in Mario over here, and then Lucina will be over here. So that's going to be, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. So this will be my top 20, I think. I have, for the most part, a similar arrangement in a non-ordered sense as the main tier list, but just with drastically altered order. Then we're going to go into A tier, which is rank 20 to, I would say, 35. Here we'll put Game & Watch. And then we will also put PT. PT is also here too. Where are they? Right here. And then I'm going to put Wario here. So these are all the characters who either got nerfed or have gotten slightly buffed or are good but just have one too many painfully bad matchups, or they just like, they're lacking in some way that kind of makes it easy for them to exploit. We're going to put Zero Cess here. We're going to put Sephiroth here. Would I say Sephiroth is better than these guys? Maybe not. No, ZSS is definitely better than regular Samus. Is that good? Oh, Yoshi. I forgot Yoshi. Yoshi is not better than Sephiroth. Is he better than Wario though? No, I actually think that Yoshi, people have an overinflated opinion of Yoshi. He has a lot of high-level representatives, especially in the East Coast, but the only top-level representative is Yoshidora, and I don't think that one person, it's the one-person thing. Although then again, Joker is only really Leo and Zachary. Zachary retired him. We do have Sharp and Omega, but like maybe me using the one-player example, kind of like with Sonic's, is that like really a good argument to defend a character being really high or really low? Maybe that could be for a different discussion. We'll keep moving on. Next is Young Link. Young Link is pretty high up there as well. I think deserves quite a bit of attention. And then I'm going to put Sheik next. Sheik is broken. Where is she? Sheik's broken. She basically can mash, even on shield. People really don't understand how broken that is. It doesn't matter that she does only like 3% per hit. She can mash on your shield. She's broken. On the subject of mashing on your shield, we got this guy. The absolute pinnacle of pressing A and just shield pressuring. Next, I'm going to put in Greninja. I think Greninja is slightly worse than Terry and the others, but you could say that maybe he's a little bit higher up. The problem is when you get down to the lower tiers, like the mid, like high and mid tier, you can draw an argument for one character being slightly better than the others. The ordering only really matters in my opinion for the top 20 or so. After that, you can kind of like interchange them a bit, but continuing on. Mega Man, there he is. Mega Man, pretty underrated character. And on the subject of underrated, we got Mute Brawler over here. And then I think this is a good spot to put the Shotos. Where's Ryu? Oh, there he is. Yeah, Shotos are... I would actually argue that Ryu is slightly better than Ken, just because of the added safety in neutral, and I think that's something that's increasing in demand ever since, you know, Steve came out. Then Olimar will be... No, I'm gonna put Olimar maybe around here. Olimar is gonna be... I forgot about Olimar. We're gonna put him there. I'm gonna actually... No, I'm gonna keep going a little bit. I'm gonna put Chrom here and Byleth here. And then Sora here. The arrangement of this could be held up for debate, but I think that Chrom is one of those characters where people are unjustifiably harsh on him because of his recovery. It does cripple his ability to become viable. However, do I think he deserves to be 30 placements below or below Roy? No. But like Roy would be probably the best character in the game if he didn't have a sour spot. Yes, his sweet spots are stronger, but it's the whole argument with like Lucina and Marth, where if Roy had the increased range at the cost of a little bit less power that Chrom has, then Roy would be like, you know, maybe top 3. It's purely because Roy has to be really close to you, and that makes him punishable because you can, he gets outboxed by, or he gets like destroyed by Kazuya, for example. But if he had the range safety of Chrom, oh my god, this character would be broken. Then that's compensated by the fact that Chrom has a terrible recovery, but that doesn't justify him being in like B or C tier whatsoever. And I suppose for the sake of keeping it uniform, we can add one last person up here. I think I will put Falco. Where is he? There you go. Falco's gonna be over there. Okay, we're in B+ tier. No, actually Falcon should be here, and then Falco should be down here. So like Falco's at the very top of mid tier. And then continuing on, we have, I'm gonna put in Ness. Ness is a good spot. I think Ness, like I debated if I should put Ness up in high tier, but if I were to evaluate the strength of what Ness offers compared to what the others offer, he gets beaten in quite a few ways, although he is quite cheesy. Then we have Bayonetta. I think Bayonetta is pretty underrated. She started off as like low tier, and now I think she's relatively deserving of like mid-tier status. Corrin as well, after all the buffs, they definitely became much more viable. And then Inkling will go here. No, actually I'll put Inkling ahead of these two. This is where it gets difficult. Like the B tier is going to be really hard for me to keep things as ordered as possible. Again, only the top 20 matter in my opinion, but I'll still try to keep it consistent. Bowser is going to be around mid tier. People argued he was the most viable heavyweight prior to Kazuya, and I still think that holds true. I just don't think that he's high tier. People said like he's a high tier character. No, not really. He's so exploitable. Like yes, he's got really stupid aggression in neutral and advantage, but his disadvantage options are so limited that I would dare say even the matchups he beats, quote unquote, they can beat him just by playing a really solid fundamentals. Then I'll put Marth here. If we were to like say, you know, the placement order of like, or the distance and placement between like Roy and Chrom or Lucina and Marth, Marth should not be all the way down in like C or D tier. That's just rude. Oh my god, this character cheats sometimes. It's inconsistent, but if it works, it works, and he still has the range advantage, right? Like even if you don't get the tippers, he still has the range, he can still wall you out, and he has a pretty difficult disadvantage state to track, even if you can juggle him, just because he does have a frame 1 combo breaker, and his corner pressure is insane. I'm gonna put Pichu here. Yeah, I want to put him higher, I just don't think that Pichu can be higher without someone being like, oh, but there's this or that. Of course, they might say that for any other character. Maybe Pichu could be like higher than Bayo, I might say. Like higher than these guys. Or higher than Inkling. Probably put him here. And then I will put Link. And then maybe Hero. Hero is either the best character in the game or the worst character in the game, so I put him smack in the middle, basically. Then we're down into, let's see, alright, this is where it gets a lot more difficult. The pits will be here, I think. And then I'm going to put Ice Climbers here. Ice Climbers does have crap, and Big D's demonstrating that quite well. I just don't think that it really compensates for how crippling their weaknesses are and how much you can exploit the hitbox extension from hitting Nana or Popo first, and then it kind of leads to a whole bunch of other stuff. Plus, they get countered by a lot of high tiers, or rather a lot of top tiers, especially the Swordies. I'll put Ike here, right here, and then I'm gonna move, let's see, Mewtwo, Meta Knight, Luigi, and then probably Rosalina and Luma. And then we got 2 more to go. Oh, actually, no, maybe I shouldn't put 20 on every category. Then we're moving into C tier, which will have, what the hell, why is Daisy here? Okay, let me just, I thought she was an Echo, she's an Echo fighter, what the hell, alright, I'm just gonna leave her out. Alright, so from this point onwards, I have no general consensus. I have no consensus on where the order is. So I'm gonna put, I think all the heavyweights are very similarly at the same level. Do I think that out of the 3 heavyweights, I would say K. Rool is the best, and then Incineroar, and then DK. And then we can kind of order it as to go. DDD is the worst. No, that's not, is that true? Oh, DDD cheats though. Every heavyweight cheats, that's the problem. Jigglypuff will be somewhere around here. I'll put her here for the time being. And then I'm gonna put Lucas, and then we'll move Lucario. Then Wii Fit Trainer, Villager. Toon Link is gonna be at the high end of C tier, I think. I think that's a good spot to put him. There might be some possible arguments for Toon Link to be mid tier, just because what Toon Link does have is a bit more zone coverage, because his attacks are a lot slower, as in like if you throw the boomerang out or the arrow, they cover more time or more area for a longer period of time because they travel slow, and that can definitely work for zoning. On the subject of zoning, let's put the Belmonts here. Or just one Belmont apparently. Banjo's gonna be here, Bowser Jr. is gonna be here. I'm gonna put Bowser Jr. maybe up here, I think. Oh, Bowser Jr. up here. And then Duck Hunt, we're gonna get rid of this tier actually, just because it doesn't matter. And then Ridley will be maybe, no, of the 4 heavyweights over here, I think Ridley's the best one. Well, Ridley's not super heavy, but you get what I mean. Mii Gunner is gonna be hovering between the Villager area. I think that's a good place to put him. Then we have Isabelle, who's a few tiers lower. And then, no, Donkey Kong is not better than these characters. I think I'm gonna put Donkey Kong in right here. Again, we can debate the lower tiers. The lower tier placements really don't matter, it's just the higher tiers. Kirby should be probably at around the Jigglypuff level. Do I think that Jigglypuff is better than Kirby? Yes. But Kirby should definitely still be like, you can't put him in low tier or like bottom tier. People still do, and I think that's insulting. Robin is gonna be around maybe... No, I would say Robin's actually quite high, or deserves to be quite high. Where did I put Wii Fit Trainer? No, Wii Fit Trainer is higher than these characters. Alright, we'll just put these guys down here really quick. Ganondorf trash, Dr. Mario, and then Zelda will be... Where should I put Zelda? I actually don't know. Probably higher than them. And then Piranha Plant will be down here. Piranha Plant is better than DDD. Or no, DDD is better than Piranha Plant. And then finally Mii Sword Fighter. Where the hell do I put Mii Sword Fighter? I've never seen this character. Ever. He's the worst of the Miis, that's for sure. Probably here. Or like, maybe... Yeah, probably down here. So this is my list. I could change a few things around here and there. Maybe like in retrospect I might put Link a little bit higher up. I might put him like here. For the most part, this is my, I guess, my comparison tier list. I think in terms of how similar it is to the main tier list, it's about like probably like 70%. We have 70% of the same agreements, but I think that in terms of like the order or the arrangement, that's where things definitely differ, especially in top tier. I find it really absurd that they put someone like Cloud above Palutena, Pac-Man, Min-Min. That's just, this character is not that good. He's good, he's just not that good. Same goes for Pikachu. They put Pikachu so low, and I'm like, what? Maybe we made the mistake of putting him too high in earlier tier lists, but they put him at like rank 13. That's like, no, that's not true. Pikachu is still a broken character. We just don't see him that often. And then in terms of high tier, I would argue they definitely overrated a few of the character strengths. Like for example, they put Olimar at 28. I don't think that Olimar is really that high up. He might be like down to 33, 34. Same goes for Sheik. I think Sheik should have been a little bit higher up. And I also think that Yoshi was overhyped a bit too much. I think they put Yoshi above Mario. You could argue these two are very similar in terms of relative strength, but I don't think that Yoshi is better than Mario. I think that Mario has a lot more overall coverage, and the fact that Yoshi doesn't have, or if you take away his double jump, he doesn't have a recovery. He can use Egg Throw to float towards the stage, but in the case of Yoshi, people are very... they don't respect his kind of threat bubble too well, because he can float really far and then kind of extend his hitboxes that way. But overall, in terms of placements, I do agree with the way the tier list was made, in terms of if we were to take away the ordering and just put like, okay, this is the S tier fighters, these are the A tier fighters, these are the B tier fighters, but then they ordered it, and I was like, no, the ordering changes everything, because then, you know, if the top 20, let's say the S tier was just this and there was no ordering, then you could argue Lucina is just as good as Roy, right? But because it's ordered, that changes everything, because the characters above have to be better than all the characters below. But that's about all I have to say for today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you have, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on if you agree or disagree with certain choices. But aside from that, follow me on Twitter at VarsFam, join my Discord server, and check out my other videos if you haven't yet. But till next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one. Take care.